Oh, there we go, folks. There we go. There we are. Welcome back, everybody. This is Mike from Mike's Magic Auto Detailing and Paint Enhancement here on a sunny Monday in Sharpsburg, Georgia. I just thought I'd jump on here right quick and show you guys an update on my simple maintenance regimen. While I wait for a customer to get here, bringing his truck in for a maintenance detail. We may do some videos on that. Gonna go over a couple things with you guys right quick like. Oh boy, oh boy. We'll talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about these in a minute. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, and some of that stuff. But in some of the previous videos, I think there was 4 of them, I was basically working on the hood. Well, I have finished that. I haven't ceramic coated it, and I'm probably not going to because it is slated to be repainted. So I don't see much point in wasting money on some expensive ceramic coating on something that's going to be repainted anyway. Many of you may remember, I strip washed it, decontaminated it, clay barred it, all that kind of stuff. All those steps you do when you're stripping it, because it had sat outside for months basically and was pretty nasty. And then I did a one-step or an all-in-one polish with my dual action polisher and that 3D1, I think it was, I showed you guys, the all-in-one polish. And then, that leaves behind a level of Monton wax, which is good for a matter of probably weeks. But after I finished that, then I decided to go back and put some top coat on it to increase the shine and gloss a little bit, which I think it's pretty evident that it did do. But I put a top coat on it. This stuff, you guys, some of you have seen this before. This is called a top coat. You could put this on top of anything. Coatings, waxes, sealants, doesn't matter. You could put this on anything. Put it on your paint, you could put it on your glass, you could put it on your wheels, rubber, vinyl, whatever you choose. It's really, really good stuff. It leaves a very slick and shiny finish. But this is the results of the hood. Probably gonna leave it like that, just because, like I say, it's supposed to get repainted anyway. And I was getting started. Also yesterday, what I did, I strip washed all the glass, clay barred it. Yes, you can clay bar glass, but tempered glass. For example, these rear view mirrors are not tempered, so you should not clay bar them. If you do, you will scratch them. Have to handle them another way. Clay barred it, all that. First, I cleaned them off real good with just, I think, Sonex glass cleaner. Then I polished them with my rotary buffer and a medium pad. You can use a medium pad. You can use a wool pad. I used a rotary, but I have used a dual action. It just takes a little longer. And then I prepped it with 100% alcohol. And I'll post a photo of the product. I put 2-year ceramic coating on the glass, which helps improve clarity. It improves clearness of the glass. It fills in some of the scratches. Extremely hydrophobic. You don't really need your windshield wipers if it's raining till you get up, say, over 30 miles an hour or so. I put 2 coats on, and I redid it because I put it on a couple years ago, but I had only put 1 coat on for some reason. I don't remember why, so I decided to redo it, go back and put 2 coats on. I didn't even have to do the side glass yesterday because it is still so slick from the first time I did it a couple years ago. There was no point in redoing that. It's still just fine. And I could tell when I sprayed water on it, the water just flew off. did the back windshield, took these off and cleaned them up a little bit. Now I'm starting on the roof. Now when I get through with this, I will be recoating this because this part of the car is not going to get repainted. And there are some scratching on here that I wanted to get rid of that I didn't get last time I did this. Because this paint is awful because it's a cheap Mako paint, which is okay in certain circumstances. And you can see I've taped off to protect the rubber here. And I tried to pick up the scratching earlier, but it's from my previous efforts. I think maybe you can see some in there. I'm not sure. It's mostly right in here. There's a few over there, but some of them I know I cannot get out. For example, there's some right there. I don't know if y'all can catch it. I already know those are not going to come out in all likelihood. I'm just playing around. I want to improve it a little bit more. And what I will do is put, when I get through polishing this, I'll use the same all-in-one that I used on there, because it's easily removed when I need to remove it. Man, this pollen is coming already. Holy cow. But, and I'll put the King's Guard on top of it just to protect it till I get around to coating it. You know, that stuff's easily removed chemically, so it's not a big deal. But, I mean, the scratches that are in here, if you got to get up kind of close and you got to catch the light just right to see them. And for most of you, this would probably be fine. I mean, you have to really get up here close and get your inspection light out. You know, one of these swirl finders, I call them. See, but it's still, on camera, it's hard to pick up. That's pine pollen right there, or some kind of pollen. And there's some scratches on, say, this top of this door. I may try to get out. But it's just to catch up for you guys. And now I will tape this off before I get up to the front. You know, the way I do these things, yesterday I only took a little section about this big, and I worked on it. And that's normally how I do you guys, customers' cars. I work a little section at a time so that I can really, really focus on whatever marring and scratching is in that section. But oh man, oh my. But here's the buffers I was using. This is the rotary buffer. It's battery powered flex, very expensive. As I told you guys earlier, y'all probably don't need this high quality of a buffer. This is $600 or better with shipping, mostly because it's cordless. You can get a corded one a little cheaper, but you know what, for most of you, just go to Harbor Freight or somewhere like that, parts place, get you a Griot's Garage one or some other brand. They'll probably work just fine for you. And this is what I call the hammer. This is the scalpel. There again, this is a flex. It's this one of their smaller polishers. It's also cordless. This particular one's about $350 or better. And it's got the rotary adapter in it right now with that small pad on it. It's a 1-inch pad. And that's what I was using to go after those scratches. But you can still use a dual action. You don't have to do this. These are just faster, more efficient when it's a rotary. You can also switch just over. I showed you guys in a previous video to dual action, which I do a lot. There's 2 different adapters for that. This just pops out. And that's with a 3-inch pad. You can also put this little pad on there. And they're different. Both of those are for dual action. They're different throws, basically. This is I believe a 12mm throw, which gives you more action back and forth. And this is a 3mm when you're in those tight little spots and you just want a little bit, but you don't want a lot. They rotate, I do believe, at the same speed, but they oscillate at different lengths. Sometimes you want a wide oscillation, sometimes you want it narrow. They say if you're using it on a small area like this, you might want to use the narrow one, because it's so you can control how it's easier to get in these tight spots if you're only going back and forth a little bit. A lot of people have asked, not a lot, but some have asked me what this is. I forget what you call it, but it's got magnets on each corner, holds it in space. And I like to use these, like when I'm working up here, particularly when I have to get way out in the middle. I have a tendency to lean up against the car when I do that. And I use these so that I don't scratch the paint. I don't want to make more work for myself. Yeah, work smarter, not harder. Do y'all have to have one of these? No. And another alternative is when I'm going to be doing a lot of leaning up against a car, and usually most of the time, I will wear, you know, like gym pants or gym shorts, that kind of stuff that's made out of the real soft material. They don't have any snaps or buttons or, you know, any of that kind of stuff, say like a pair of jeans does. There's no hard surfaces, so that if you do accidentally lean up against the car and move back and forth, you're not scratching the paint. Many of you probably already know jeans will scratch paint quickly. The good news is it's usually not too serious. It can be got out, but that's because I don't like to make work for myself. That's why I use that thing. But just catching you guys up right quick. I'm going to be working on the roof a little bit more here in a few minutes. And waiting, like I say, waiting on a customer to get here, waiting on another one to call me, which both repeat customers. So we'll see what happens there. This damn pollen, I swear. Oh, man. So I'll have to paint prep that again up there to get that pollen dust off before I start buffing, because it can be abrasive, folks, and acidic if you let it sit there. So I'll use a quick detailer with some good surfactants in it to get that off of there, but the kind I'll use doesn't leave anything behind. I don't want any protection left behind because it will inhibit my buffing. And I'll probably drop the door in an effort to keep most of that stuff, or a lot of it, out of here. And, you know, speaking of paint prepping, I've seen people take a microfiber towel when they use a panel prep, or a wax and tar remover. You can get a lot of it on the local level. Most of it's not too bad. And whatever method they use, then they'll do like part of the hood with a microfiber towel, and then I've seen them use the same surface on the same towel on the next part. That's a no-no, folks. Once you do part of it, when you get ready to paint prep over there, you need to flip the towel over, use a clean part to paint prep that part, or you're rubbing the stuff you just cleaned off of this side on that side and adding to it instead of taking it away. And your goal is to get virgin clear coat. And so I'll turn it, you know, inside out, whatever, to go to the next panel on for. So I'll use 4, 5, 6 towels to paint prep an entire vehicle, one this size. Some of those big trucks and bigger vehicles, SUVs, takes even more. Back to the old credo, folks. Always work clean. If there's any big secret in detailing, that's it. Always work clean. Anytime you're touching the paint, no matter what you're doing, washing, clay barring, all that stuff, paint prepping, buffing off, wiping off, always work clean. Make sure the paint's clean. Make sure whatever medium you're using is clean before you get started on each section. And that's one of the reasons it takes me so long, is normally whatever I'm doing, I don't want to do the entire half of the hood at one time. I'll do a space about like that, maybe at the most. Then I will prepare this section, make sure it's clean. and then I'll use a clean medium to do whatever I'm doing. And I process repeats when you get to buffing, whatever. Always work clean. Trust me. Trust me. Sometimes you'll put scratching back in as fast as you're taking it out, and you'll be counterproductive. In the long run, you'll end up getting done faster, it'll look better, and you'll be more efficient. And that goes to just about everything. Wheels, everything. Plastics, vinyls, it doesn't matter. You know, door jambs, stuff like that, maybe a little different under if you're doing engine compartments. Yeah, that's a different story. I've got a whole thing of rags, microfiber towels over there that I call utility rags. I use them for grease rags, work rags, engine bays, door jambs, stuff like that. But I would never put them on the paint. Never. And after I do the laundry, which I just finished doing, all my good towels, I take them and inspect them. I run my hand across them. If there's any rough spots, they get relegated to the utility bin. They're no longer wipe off or buff off towels. Now, some of them that aren't bad can be used on your interior or your wheels or door jamb, that kind of stuff. But if they got a rough spot on them at all that I can feel with my hand, they get downgraded right away. They never touch the paint again. Because if there's a rough spot on that microfiber towel and you get them, no matter how well you maintain them or how soon you wash them after you use them, they will get rough spots. Nothing lasts forever. Once they get a rough spot, they're done for doing paint. And folks, when it comes to microfiber towels, you get what you pay for most of the time. So a lot of the retail level microfibers are okay. I might use them for glass and that kind of stuff, but I hardly ever would use a retail level microfiber towel on the paint unless I just got in a bind. Okay, folks, I appreciate you. You know what they say, like, tag, share, follow, subscribe, comment, thumbs up, all that stuff. Man, that's a long list of stuff. But I appreciate everybody. Y'all have a great day. Enjoy this weather, because I understand it's not going to last. That's okay. That's okay with me. Thank y'all. Appreciate you. Look at that shining gloss. I wish I had a gloss meter. I guarantee you that's, if it's not 3 digits, it's probably over 3 digits would be my guess. You know, that's a good example of what you can accomplish just using simple procedures. You know, simple retail level equipment. You can get to that, folks. Trust me. Thank y'all. Appreciate it. If you have any questions, want me to clarify something, I know I tend to ramble and get off track sometimes. Be free. Feel free to shoot me a PM and ask whatever question you have to ask. All right, folks. I appreciate you. Y'all have a great one. Goodbye now.